After we clarified what is true Sufism and who is the true Sufi, we started to uncover those Sufi claimers, and we said that among those Sufi claimers who changed the name of Allah, instead of saying Allah, they say or they say and pretending that this is a name among the names of Allah, and this is haram. Some of them say Allah instead of Allah, and this is also haram. We clarified this. And the person has no reward if he said so, rather he will have a sin. And we said that among the Sufi claimers, there are some people who pretend that their sheikh has the right to see their unlawful nakedness, and by seeing their unlawful nakedness, he purifies them from their sins. And this is kufr. This is blasphemy. Do you understand? To pretend that the look of the sheikh on the unlawful nakedness of his students purify his students, this is kufr. Wal-'iyadhu billahi ta'ala. That same Sufi sheikh claimer that I'm talking about, one day he was doing the image of the prayer. Yani he was claiming that he's praying. While he is imam, he's praying. According to him, he's praying. He's doing the image of the prayer. The prayer is not valid from him because he's not on the right belief. While he was praying, he said, ksh, ksh, ksh. And then, after finishing what he did, the image of the prayer, his ignorant students, his silly students, his dumb students came to him and told him, Shaykhi, our Shaykh, we heard you saying in the prayer, kish, kish. What did you see? He said, I saw a dog passing in front of the grave of Prophet Muhammad in Al-Madinah, so I told him, kish, kish. And those silly people, stupid people, dumb people, believed him. They thought that their sheikh is a wali that has kashf. They thought that this fake Sufi sheikh can see from Beirut to Al-Madinah, to the point that he saw a dog passing by the grave of Prophet Muhammad. So he told him, kish, kish. It means go away, go away. Silly people. Now, I think, be it Siraj or even someone younger than Siraj from among our brothers, our young brothers, if he hears someone saying kish kish in his prayer, they will judge his prayer invalid. واضح? See the difference between Sheikh Jama'ah, our Jama'ah, the Jama'ah of Sheikh Abdullah in the Jam'iyah, and other Jama'ah. Other Jama'ah are easily fooled by fake Sufi claimers, Sheikh. Do you understand? As for us, we are not easily fooled by anyone. Why? Because we judge the people and we weigh the people according to what? To the laws of Islam. If what this person said goes with the religion, so we take it. If it goes against the religion, we don't take it, even if his beard is from here to the minbar. Even if he has a title that fills up half the screen when he talks. Nowadays, some people when they talk, half the screen is full. The sheikh, the imam, the doctor, the scholar, the president of Mab'arif Esh. And 3-4 lines, just the title. Even if his title was a page long, and he has a long beard, and he has 2 million followers, and 2 million students, attending his session. If he says something against the religion, do we take from him? No. Are we fooled by him? No. This is why those swindlers and those Sufi claimers don't like you. Don't like the Sheikh Abdullah Jama'ah. They don't like the students of Jam'iyyat al-Mashari' al-Khayriyya al-Islamiyya. Why? Because our Sheikh, who was a real Sufi Sheikh, a real wali, a real righteous Muslim, taught us to defend the religion and to say the truth, to order the good and forbid the bad, and not to be scared by those swindlers, not to be scared from those swindlers, not to be scared from the Wahhabis and those who are like them. Sheikh Abdullah al-Habashi, rahimahullah, said what means, we taught them, he's talking about himself, he said we taught them, it means we taught our students to defend the religion, to order the good, to forbid the bad, to the point that our students became like lions in doing so. And then he stopped for a moment and then he said, and I love lions. This is the difference between Jam'iyyat al-Mashari' people and other people. We are not claiming that the Jam'iyyah is the only Jam'iyyah that is on the right path. But to see such a Jam'iyyah, such a group of people, all united under one idara, under one manager, under one president, having one word all over the dunya, in more than 50 countries all over the earth, like this Jama'ah, we don't see. We saw other Jama'ah who are on the right path, and we are on the right path. They say good and we say good, but we reach a point, us and them, we reach a point where khalas, you have to say it clearly that such is blasphemy and such sect are blasphemers. So here the Jam'iyyah continue and other people normally stop. They don't dare to go more. Nihna in the Jam'iyyah, we dare to go this extra mile. And some of the people who were on the right path, when they reached this point where they had to make a decision about a certain fake sheikh or a certain non-Muslim Jama'ah pretending to be Muslim like Wahhabis, here some of them were silent devils and they were silenced by money. Some of them, they didn't have guts to speak the truth, so they didn't say anything. And some of them were bought with money and they changed their belief to the corrupted belief and they became blasphemers like those who they needed to judge, who they were supposed to judge as blasphemers. Some people, they reach here. They are like us in many things. Celebrating Prophet Muhammad's birth, yes. Tawassul, yes. Tabarruk, yes. Allah exists without a place, yes. Sufis are right, yes. But when they reach a point where they have to say Ibn Taymiyyah is a kafir, they stop talking. When they reach a point where they have to clarify to the people that the Wahhabis are astray, they stop. And some of them, they fall into blasphemy by saying, I don't judge them as blasphemers. I don't say they are blasphemers. When they say that they are not blasphemers, the others are not blasphemers, they blaspheme. The one who doesn't judge the person who claims that Allah resembles the creation and that Allah is sitting on the throne, if somebody says, I don't judge him as a blasphemer, he blasphemes. Do you understand? Because when he says, I don't judge him as a blasphemer, for real, he's not abiding to the rules of the Quran. In the Quran, it is explicit that the one who likens Allah to the creation is belying the Quran, and the one who belies the Quran is not Muslim. So those people, they do not judge the Wahhabiyya and those who liken Allah to the creation as blasphemers, so they blaspheme. As for our Jama'ah, they continue where other people stop. Nihna, we say clearly, Al-Wahhabiyya are not Muslims. Why? Because they claim that Allah is sitting on the throne. Because they claim that Allah resembles the creation. So this is the difference between us and them. Is it clear until now? So this is why those Wahhabis or those Sufi claimers don't like you guys, don't like you, because you say the truth. Because there is no amount of money by which they can buy you. Is there anyone here? There is none. Is there anyone here that will accept to take $1 billion and say that Allah resembles the creation? Nobody. Is there anybody here who will accept to take $1 million and claim that Allah is sitting on the throne? Nobody. Is there anybody here that will be willing to take $1 million and say that Allah inhabits the sky? Nobody. This is why those people don't like you. Because you guys are not to be sold. Do you understand? You are not for sale. They cannot buy you. They couldn't buy your Sheikh Abdullah. They couldn't buy Sheikh Nizar. They cannot buy Sheikh Hussam. They cannot buy the real students, the honest students of Al-Jam'iyah. This is why they fight you. This is why they give you names. This is why they say fake stories about you. They fabricate stories on you. I give you an example so you will understand more. This same Sufi claimer Sheikh, who claimed that he saw the dog in front of the grave of Prophet Muhammad and he told him kish kish while he was so-called praying, understand? This same man was the sheikh of one of our sisters' husband. This sister didn't know Sheikh Abdullah, but later on she heard about him, she heard his lessons. She started to learn from the students of Sheikh Abdullah, and she found out that Sufi Sheikh claimer is fake, is wrong. And she wanted to show the truth to her husband. So she started to tell him, but her husband was so believing in his Sheikh. So one day, her husband invited the Sheikh to his house. Who prepared the food? Our sister. So when she offered the plates, she put on every plate rice and over the rice a piece of chicken, except for the plate of that fake sheikh. She put the chicken and on top of it the rice. So you cannot see the chicken, you see only rice. Where is the chicken? Under the rice. So she put for everybody chicken over rice. But for that fake sheikh, she put rice over chicken. So he looked at his plate like that, and in front of everybody, he said, "How come you have put chicken for everybody else and not for me?" She told him, "You saw the dog from Beirut to Al-Madinah passing in front of the grave of Prophet Muhammad, and you don't see the chicken under the rice?" In your face, So this is why they don't like you. Because you are strong in refuting them. Because you uncover the truth. Because you defend the religion honestly. Because you are honest. So this is what's happening in the world of Sufi claimers and fake Sufis. And some of them, as I told you, they believe that Allah is dwelling in their sheikh. And some of them, they believe that Allah is dwelling in everything and everybody. And they claim to be what? They claim to be Sufis. And some of them, they say the whole word is Allah. They say Allah and the word is the same thing. They say it's like salt when put in water, it becomes one. So the humans, the jinn, the animals, and everything in this world is Allah. Allah and the word is one thing. And this is kufr. So you see what's happening in the world of the Sufi claimers. Subhanallah al-Azim. Those Sufi Sheikh claimers, a lot of them don't pray. A lot of them don't fast. A lot of them touch women that are not halal to touch. They touch their skin. They let the women kiss their hand, lips to skin, without a barrier. They hold hands with their women students. And if somebody tells them that this is haram, or if somebody confronts them and tells them, why are you not praying? Why are you not praying? Why are you not fasting Ramadan? What do they say to them? They say, the apparent worships are for you guys. As for us, we are Ahlul Batin. يعني how do we say أهل الباطن؟ يعني they say you guys are أهل الظاهر. يعني you take the apparent judgments of Islam. You pray, you fast, you don't touch women, you don't commit zina. But as for us, we are in a deeper level. We are not in the apparent level. We are Ahlul Batin. We are in deeper level. We are so pure to the point that it is halal. They claim this is kufr. They say we are so pure to the point that it is halal for us to touch the skin of non-halal women for us. They say we became so pure to the point that we don't pray anymore. We don't fast anymore. How do you refute them? You say, who was more pure than Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Yet Prophet Muhammad didn't used to touch the skin of non-halal women. Who are you by comparison to Prophet Muhammad? Prophet Muhammad, when he was dying sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to faint, and then he used to gain back consciousness and pray, and then he used to faint. He didn't leave the prayer until the last hours of his life. And this is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So who are you to leave out the prayer, claiming that you became so pure to the point that prayer is not for you anymore? What makes you more surprised is that those people, they have thousands of followers, ya rajul. How naive and dumb those people are. And look at you. Yani subhanallah, any one of our brothers, even if he hears one of our sheikhs saying something not clear, he will confront him in a proper way. Yani he will tell him, Shaykhi, this isn't that, this and that. And you see our shuyukh, if they were wrong, they will fix it. They are not shy to say, I was wrong and this is the right way, or this is the right thing to do. So when you hear all of this, you find out that, alhamdulillah, our people in the Jam'iyyah, whether the enemies like it or not, are really special. Our brothers in Al-Jam'iyyah are really special because they are not muted devils. They are not muted devils. When they see something wrong, they will speak. When they see something wrong, they will defend the religion. Those Sufi claimers, lots of them are misguided. Some of them misguided without being blasphemer, but most of them are blasphemers because they believe that Allah Ta'ala dwells in their sheikhs. And then they say, this is the meaning of Al-Qayyum. They claim Al-Qayyum is the one who is qa'im in our bodies, is the one who indulges in our bodies, and this is wrong. And it happens to be that Al-Qayyum is among the first words in the Mukhtasar that you learn. Isn't that right? So look at yourselves and look at this great bounty that Allah Ta'ala gave you, that you were in the path of Sheikh Abdullah al-Habashi. Look at the great endowment that Allah Ta'ala granted you, that you are people who are acquiring the knowledge in Al-Jam'iyyah. You learn the obligatory knowledge and you know how to differentiate between the fakes and the true people. This is a bounty, isn't that right? This is an endowment. فإذن, who is al-mutasawwif? Who is the Sufi claimer? The Sufi claimer is the swindler. The Sufi claimer is the swindler, is the one who do abhorrent matters, and he covers himself by the name of Sufiya, by the name of Sufism. They are so ignorant to the point they say, we don't need to learn. We don't need to sit like you guys and learn, because us, the knowledge will come to us directly from the Prophet to our heart, without a chain of transmission. And among the first things that you learned when you learn the obligatory knowledge is that you need to learn the obligatory knowledge how? With a chain of transmission through the upright people to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is called the chain of transmission. Those fake Sufi shuyukh claim that they don't need to learn from anybody. We don't need a chain of transmission. It is from the Prophet to our heart straight. This is why they give permissions to themselves to change things and to claim things that contradict the religion. Their students, they don't say anything because they think that this is a high rank in Islam, and it is not. There was someone, for example, called Al-Hallaj. Al-Hallaj, he used to live like a long time ago, like maybe 800 or 900 years ago he used to live. Al-Hallaj, first he used to claim that he is a wali. He used to claim that he is what? A wali. And he wasn't a wali, he was a swindler. And then he started to claim that he is a prophet. And then he started to claim that he is God. He started to claim that he is what? That he is God. This Hallaj used to call himself Sufi. He used to claim that he is Sufi. But the reality is that he is a swindler and he is a hypocrite. He is a non-Muslim person. He is a blasphemer. And then what happened? This Hallaj, who started to pretend that he is God, started to say to his people, there is nothing under my jubbah except Allah. Like what makes you surprised is that there are people who believes it. Look at you guys and look at those guys. Someone who claims to be so much a righteous Muslim and a Sufi, according to him, he claims to be God, and you see his students say nothing. Allahu Akbar. They are so corrupted, those people. So he started to say to the people, there is nothing under the jubbah except Allah. He was talking about himself. This damned person was a blasphemer, was a swindler, but his claim to be a Sufi doesn't mean that Sufism is wrong. His claim to be Sufi doesn't hurt the Sufism, because this man wasn't practicing Sufism. He was claiming Sufism. He was claiming to be Sufi. Like if someone now claims to be Muslim and then he starts killing unrightfully. Do we say Islam is bad because of this person who claims to be Muslim? Of course not. Did you understand? With the same token, we don't say Sufism is bad because someone like Al-Hallaj used to claim that he is a Sufi. Is it clear what I'm saying? Al-Imam Ahmad al-Rifa'i, our Sheikh, what did he say about Al-Hallaj? He said, لو كان على الحق ما قال أنا الحق. Al-Imam Ahmad al-Rifa'i, he said, if Al-Hallaj was on the right path, he wouldn't have claimed godhood. So Al-Imam al-Rifa'i, خلاص, he knew that Al-Hallaj was a blasphemer. On the other hand, Al-Imam Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, what was his opinion about Al-Hallaj? His opinion about Al-Hallaj is that he was insane. يعني when he said, I am God, he wasn't sane. يعني Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, Al-Imam radiyallahu anhu, يعني thought that Al-Hallaj, if he was sane, he wouldn't have claimed that he is God. So surely, if he said, I am God, so he wasn't sane in that moment. He was insane. Because as I told you yesterday, some saints, some righteous Muslims, some awliya are what? Insane. Sometimes they are insane, they lose their sanity, and sometimes they get it back. You remember yesterday what I said? If there is a Khalifa, the Khalifa will imprison such people so the people won't be misled by them because of their ignorance, because of the people's ignorance. Remember what I said yesterday? So Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, Al-Imam Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, what did he say about Al-Hallaj? that he was insane when he said what he said. But Al-Imam al-Rifa'i said no, Al-Hallaj was conscious, was sane, and he is kafir. And if he was on the right path, he wouldn't have said he is God. He wouldn't have claimed godhood. One day, a student of Sheikh Ahmad al-Rifa'i went to Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani. Listen to this. So, this great student of Sheikh Ahmad al-Rifa'i, when he arrived to Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, in the session, there was one student of Sheikh Abdul Qadir. So Sheikh Abdul Qadir asked the student of Sheikh Ahmad. He told him, what does Sheikh Ahmad al-Rifa'i say about Al-Hallaj? So the student of Ahmad al-Rifa'i said, my Sheikh say, if he was on the right path, he wouldn't have claimed that he is God. So the student of Sheikh Abdul Qadir who was listening to that, he was angry. He said to the student of Sheikh Ahmad al-Rifa'i, Sheikh Ahmad wasn't supposed to say about Al-Hallaj that he is conscious, while Sheikh Abdul Qadir is saying he is unconscious. He got angry. So Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani heard his student saying this. He looked at him because he was angry and he stood up. So he looked at him, Sheikh Abdul Qadir, and he said, Qad. He told him, sit down. He was paralyzed in its second. He was paralyzed. He couldn't move his legs anymore. Sheikh Abdul Qadir, one word he told him. He told him, Qad, sit down. Why? Sheikh Abdul Qadir didn't accept from him, didn't agree with his students to say what he said about Sheikh Ahmad al-Rifa'i in this manner. This is impolite. This is an impolite way to talk about Sheikh Ahmad al-Rifa'i, the one who kissed the hand of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam when he was in Al-Madinah. We will talk about it later. So the people after that started to make tawassul, started to ask please for Sheikh Abdul Qadir, so he will excuse his student. And then Sheikh Abdul Qadir, when he excused him, he went and he passed his hand on the legs of his student. He stood up again and started walking. So this is the difference in opinion about Al-Hallaj. But who was right? Sheikh Ahmad al-Rifa'i. Why? Because you will see. In the time of Al-Hallaj, there was a Khalifa called Al-Muqtadir Billah al-Abbasi. Al-Muqtadir Billah al-Abbasi was Al-Khalifa. Al-Muqtadir, Al-Khalifa, said to the head of the judges. The head of the judges, it means the president of all the judges back then in Baghdad, and he was called Abu Umar al-Maliki. He said to Abu Umar al-Maliki, who was the head of all the judges, make a judgment. احكم عليه. Judge Al-Hallaj. He told Abu Umar, judge Al-Hallaj. Give me the judgment of Al-Hallaj. So this Qadi, Abu Umar, who was the head of all judges in Baghdad, he brought the witnesses and he heard from them what they heard from Al-Hallaj. And he saw with his own eyes what Al-Hallaj wrote to some of his students. And some of those writings were blasphemy. Among what Abu Umar, the judge, saw among the writings of Al-Hallaj, what Al-Hallaj wrote to one of his students, saying, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ تَعَالَى, from Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim to such a person. He sent a letter to his student. What did he say? He didn't say from Al-Hallaj to my student. He said from Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim to, and he named his student. What did he call himself? Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. And who we call Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And among what Abu Umar read with his own eyes, what Al-Hallaj wrote among the writings of Al-Hallaj was, he wrote, I can compose something that is similar to Al-Quran. Do you understand? He said, I can compose something, write something that is similar to the Quran, that has the same degree of Al-Quran, and this is kufr. So Abu Umar al-Maliki, when he brought the witnesses and he gathered the proofs, he went to the Khalifa. Al-Khalifa who Al-Muqtadir Billah al-Abbasi. So Al-Khalifa told him, what do you say about Al-Hallaj ya Aba Umar? He told him, Kafir ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. Kafir ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. He is a blasphemer, O Amir al-Mu'mineen, O Khalifa. So Al-Khalifa, what did he do? Listen, Al-Khalifa cut off the head of Al-Hallaj, and then he burned his body, and then he threw the ashes of the body of the Hallaj in the river. Why he did that? To teach the people, as a warning for everybody not to say what Al-Hallaj used to say. This is why the scholars say about Al-Hallaj, he was killed by the sword of the Islamic law. He was killed by the sword of what? Of Islamic law. His students were so ignorant and they were so taken by Al-Hallaj to the point that they claim when Al-Hallaj was killed, when the head of the Hallaj was cut off, his blood wrote on the ground, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah, Al-Hallaj Waliyullah. They fabricate stories and they lie and they believe their lies. One of his students one day, he was seen holding a bag. So he was asked, what is there in the bag? He said, and this is kufr, he said, this is the feces of Al-Hallaj for barakah. This is how lots of Sufi claimers are. Dumb people, ignorant people to the extent, so ignorant to the point of stupidity, ya Rajul. Those are some of the realities of the Sufi claimers. Al-Imam Ahmad al-Rifa'i and Imam Abdul Qadir al-Jilani said, كل طريقة خالفت الشريعة فهي زندقة. Every طريقة, every way that contradicts the religion is a bad way. Every way that contradicts the religion is what? Is a bad way. Like for example, some of the Sufi Sheikh claimers, they say we have a tariqah. Normally the tariqah is a way that a wali, that a true wali do, and his students follow him in it. Like for example, our tariqah, the tariqah al-Rifa'iyya, is what? Is to say in the morning and after sunset 100 times Astaghfirullah al-Azim wa atubu ilayh, 100 La ilaha illallah, and 100 Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. This is the tariqah al-Rifa'iyya, to say this morning and night. And after you say them, you recite the Fatiha and you send the reward to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, to Sheikh Ahmed, and to the chain of shuyukh of the tariqah al-Rifa'iyya. If you are persisting on the tariqah, you will have a connection with Sheikh Ahmed al-Rifa'i. You will have a madad from Sheikh Ahmed al-Rifa'i. Yani by the secret of Sheikh Ahmed al-Rifa'i, you will have certain things. Yani you will have a certain madad. You will have a certain care. You will have a certain care from Al-Imam Ahmad al-Rifa'i and from those awliya who are in the chain of Al-Tariqa al-Rifa'iyya. The Tariqa al-Rifa'iyya is one amongst those tariqas that corruption didn't enter. As for other tariqas, lots of them, corruption entered in them. Like for example, some who claim a certain tariqa, they say, when you take the tariqa of our sheikh and you start saying what our sheikh tells you to say, and this is blasphemy, be careful, you will reach a high position that is even higher than the qutub in other tariqas. Qutub is a level in sainthood. Al-awliya, they have levels. One of the levels is qutub. Qutub is a very high rank in al-wilaya, in being a righteous Muslim. So those people claim, even if you are ignorant, even if you didn't learn the obligatory knowledge, just by merely associating yourself to our sheikh, to his tariqah, you will be higher than a qutub from another tariqah. Yani imagine, they think just by merely associating themselves to their sheikh, they will become better than a wali. And they are ignorant. This is kufr. Why? Because Allah said, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The best among you is the most pious. As for those people, they are ignorant. Imagine someone who doesn't pray. Imagine someone who didn't learn the obligatory knowledge, who doesn't know how to make istinja, who doesn't know the invalidators of wudu. Just by merely associating himself to their sheikh, he becomes better than a wali. Wal-'iyadhu billah. And some of them, wal-'iyadhu billah, claim that he will even be in a level that is higher than the level of prophethood. And this is kufr. This is how much corrupted are those people. They think that by merely serving the so-called sheikhs, the so-called awliya, they think by merely doing dhikr and moving their bodies, understand Allah, 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 saying with growing their beard, having those beads, subha, and they will be awliya without knowledge. They are so much detached from the worldly matters. You look at him, long beard, his cloth is rugged cloth. He doesn't have lots of clothes. He doesn't eat a lot. You look at him, you see him fainting sometimes, yellow. His skin is yellow because he doesn't eat a lot. Despite all of his detachment of the worldly luxuries, he is a blasphemer. Why? Because he believes, the blasphemous believes that those corrupted sheikhs are spreading in their people. So every tariqah, every way that contradicts the way of the Islamic law is a wrong way, is a bad way. There was a man whose name is Abdullah al-Daghestani. One of his students was named Nazim al-Qubrusli, and they call him Adil, and they call him Adil al-Haqqani, or they call him Al-Sheikh Nazim al-Haqqani. All those names for one person. This person, Nazim al-Qubrusli, is a swindler. And now his students are by thousands and thousands. Those people, they say in their book, and we have their book, the book is called Wasiyyatu Murshid al-Zaman, the advice of the guide of the era. They mean by that who? Abdullah al-Daghestani, the Sheikh of Nazim al-Qubrusli. In their book, they say that, this is blasphemy, they say that the one who starts with them, their tariqah, will reach a position that no angel will reach and no prophet. Kufr! They claim that this is Sufism. How much bad reputation they are bringing to the real Sufism. And what do those news reporters do normally? Those people who talk in the news, the journalists and so on, who make some programs on TV, what do? They love those people, Sufi claimers. They go They make interviews with them and they shoot a video of them saying dhikr according to them. And they say, look, this is Sufism. Subhanallah. In Tripoli, in Lebanon, one of the top students of Nazim al-Qubrusli used to live. He's from Al-Qabbani, from the family of Qabbani. What did he say? We have the CD. This is kufr, be careful. He claims that the one who takes the tariqah of his Sheikh Nazim al-Qubrusli will start to say about something kun exists, so it will exist. This is how corrupted those people are. In the middle of all this corruption in the society about religion, you tell me, ya Sheikh, what do we do? Do we give up defending Islam? I feel overwhelmed by all those enemies. I feel overwhelmed by that many corrupted people and fake people, Wahhabis, Hizb al-Ikhwan, Rajabis, you have those Sufi swindlers, fakers. Sometimes you feel you want to give up. So I will tell you something that will comfort your heart. Sheikh Abdullah said, نحن علينا أن لا نقصر. What is incumbent upon us is not to fall short in defending Islam. As long as we are doing what we can to defend Islam, we are on the right track and we feel good, inshallah. The one who's falling short, this is the one who needs to feel very bad. What did Allah say to the believers? وَأَعِدُّوا لَهُمْ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Prepare for them what you can. Sheikh Abdullah, what did he say? He took this from the verse. He said, what is incumbent upon us is not to fall short. So inshallah we don't fall short and we keep being steadfast in defending the religion, spreading the truth bi'idhnillah under the umbrella of the Jam'iyya. Inna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. Thank you for your presence. Jazakumullahu khairan. Allah knows best. Nuhallil wa nusalli ala Rasulillah.